Hi, this is Caron Whitaker with the League of American Bicyclists, and I want to take a couple minutes to talk to you about why it's really important for you to come to the National Bike Summit this year. And especially this year because not only do we have a new president and administration, but we have a new Congress. And they have a very aggressive 100-day agenda that will affect biking and walking. And there's both challenges and opportunities that will come with this new Congress and administration. And I'd like to talk to you first about one opportunity and then one challenge that we'll talk about at the National Bike Summit. The first opportunity is this infrastructure package that President-elect Trump has been talking about. He's talking about investing $1 trillion in new infrastructure. And while I don't think we're really going to get $1 trillion, I do think that we'll see something come through for infrastructure investment. But that funding will come through the tax reform fight and not through, say, the regular transportation pipeline that we're used to. And one of the things that I've seen happen when you have a transportation vote through one of these other pipelines, not the normal one, is that members of Congress who may philosophically be with us will vote against us on an amendment like this because they're so focused on the tax reform issue that they're not thinking through all of the consequences of a vote on something like transportation. So we've seen that happen before, and the best way to ensure that that doesn't happen is for them to hear from you, their constituents, about how biking and walking helps your community. And so I'm really hoping you can join us for the National Bike Summit to talk about local projects in your community, either ones on the ground that you're already seeing safety benefits for, or congestion benefits, or just quality of life benefits, or about projects that are in the plan or in the works about coming and what that could mean for your community and how important ensuring federal dollars for that could be. Because if your member of Congress hears about a vote on transportation, we want them to be thinking about that project and say, how will this funding package that I'm voting on, how will that affect the ability of my community to put in this new project? Will that project be eligible? And that's something that, a lobbyist like me in DC, I can help, I can support that, but to really make a difference, they need to hear about it from people in their community. So that's a real opportunity that's out there for us. But there's also a challenge that comes when we talk about cutting taxes, because cutting taxes also means cutting the budget. And in the 8 years I've been doing this, I've seen at least 9 very serious attacks that would either cut funding for biking and walking specifically, or completely get rid of eligibility for biking and walking and transportation funds. And that happens around the budget process, and so that's something we may see later this year. And as you can imagine, if we lose funding and eligibility, that not only makes it harder for local and states to sort of pick up the slack because there's no federal dollars for them to leverage, but it also means that if biking is ineligible, biking projects are ineligible, that when communities are going through the planning process, the federally funded and legislative planning process, they may not include biking and walking in that process. And if you're not part of the planning process, then getting biking and walking on the ground is going to be so much harder because we have to go back and fix things. We know that's more expensive, and we know it takes more political will to do it afterwards than to do it right the first time. And again, the biggest way to fight against that is to let members of Congress know, particularly new members and members that don't work on transportation all the time, that there's people in their community that care about that these projects bring real economic benefits to their community, and you are the best messenger for that. So I hope you'll be able to join us at the National Bike Summit, March 6th through 9th this year. We are extending the early bird registration till the end of this week, so please register now. And if you have any questions, please feel to contact me at Caron@bikeleague.org. That's Caron @bikeleague.org. Thanks.